fog now.
CBS celebrates Black History Month.
Right now at 5, findings from a federal investigation into the shooting death of a suspect by a Miami police officer.
And we've got ourselves a chilly and cloudy day. More showers, more drizzle on the way. Look at that forecast. Get you out the doors coming up.
Plus, some lawmakers in Kansas take a push to raise the state's minimum wage.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
Chris Warner, so you may not be hearing her as well. You're hearing me. You know, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, okay, now we're in business. You got to love it. It's Friday. The technology is already off for the weekend.
Yes.
Can you blame it, though?
No, I would be too.
See, the thing is, the technology doesn't realize that this weekend, unfortunately, isn't going to be like last weekend where it was warm and spring-like and all that. That's over. That's done until real spring gets here. We're still watching those snow chances next week, too. Oh, I know. Well, we'll talk about that with you in just a moment. But first, let's focus on today. Let's go one day at a time. Let's get through Friday. And we're going to start with a look outside, as we traditionally do, in downtown Pittsburgh. And, things are looking pretty good so far, except for the fact the clouds are increasing. I mentioned that was going to happen. I did notice, too, my way up here, obviously, it's a bit of a drive north and then back to the west. And off to the north, skies were looking okay. That was at, I don't remember what time it was on the highways, like 3-something in the morning. But the clouds are continuing to increase, and then gradually, of course, the showers and the drizzle will increase as well. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, good so far, but again, we're going to start to see those showers and those I forgot to take this out. But hey, I can show you the good news. No dense fog advisories because we don't have any fog to contend with. It decided not to visit with us this morning. Clouds will again increasing. We're going to have gusty east winds. We'll have scattered showers, scattered drizzle out there. So even if you're not where the rain shows on the future track, you could still see some drizzle. And then overnight, we're going to have a situation like we did a few days ago where our temperatures are actually going to rise overnight. So our lows will be very close to our highs today. All right, 33. That's the cold spot up there in Yates Center, along with Fort Scott and Nevada, and even colder, Stockton at 31. You go into the 30s, just like yesterday. Colder to the northwest, warmer to the southeast. You get upper 30s, low 40s, and we get mid and upper 40s as you head a little further to the south. Kids getting on the bus, they're going to want a jacket once again because we're not quite done with winter yet, obviously. We got the upper 30s, east breeze 10 to 15, gusting to 25, increasing clouds, and of course, increasing shower and drizzle chances. Showers, some drizzle later today, about 44 when the bus brings them home. East winds gusting to 25, so again, breezy, cloudy skies, some drizzle out there. And then again, highs, most of us about the low to mid 40s. That's also about where our lows are going to be as temperatures will rise overnight into Saturday, and then that cold front gets here. And we'll talk about that and those snow chances next week here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Authorities charge a man in Lawrence County, Missouri with shooting an Amazon driver. A trooper responded to a report of a crash early Wednesday morning. According to a witness, the driver left Lawrence County Road west of Highway 97 and crashed her vehicle into a fence in a field. The driver was unresponsive and transported priority to an area hospital. Dispatch received a message from the hospital that the driver had a bullet lodged in her head. Investigators obtained video from Amazon that showed the victim driving, and as the vehicle came up the driveway to a home, the victim slumped over in the vehicle seat. Authorities contacted the home's owner, Thomas Coy, who they say admitted to shooting the victim with a pellet rifle and saw the vehicle crash into a fence. They say Coy also admitted going to the vehicle, taking the victim from the seat and laying her in the ditch. Authorities have charged Coy with felony assault and armed criminal action. Federal investigators have cleared a Miami, Oklahoma police officer involved in the shooting death of a burglary suspect. The shooting happened December 27th. Police were called to a disturbance at an apartment complex near C Southeast Street and First Avenue. They encountered 49-year-old Jason Wilkins, who they say carried a large metal spike. Police say they told Wilkins to drop his weapon, but that he charged toward one of the officers. At least one officer fired a shot, and Wilkins later died at the hospital. The officer involved had been on administrative leave since the shooting. Now a U.S. Attorney's Office has determined the shooting was justified. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Oklahoma legislation named after two 16-year-old girls who've been missing now for 25 years advances in the House. House Bill 1001, or Laura and Ashley's Law, would add accessory to murder in the first or second degree to the list of crimes that require an offender to serve at least 85% of their prison sentence. Laura Bible and Ashley Freeman were last seen on December 29, 1999, the night Ashley's parents were murdered and their home burned to the ground in Welch, Oklahoma. The girls were kidnapped, tortured, raped, and strangled to death, but their bodies have never been found. Yesterday's legislation is in response to early release of the only living suspect in the case, Ronnie Busick, who in 2020 was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but because of good behavior and credit for time served during the court process, was released after just 3 years in prison back into the area where he committed his crimes and where family members of the victims still live. Yesterday, Representative Steve Bayshore presented the bill to the Judicial Civil Committee, where it passed 6-1.
We've been told once you're elected, don't get married to your bills, and because there's always a chance it may not be heard or may not pass or may not be signed into law. Well, this one I am married to. This is something that's very important, not only to the Bible family and Freeman family, but to people of the state of Oklahoma.
Laura and Ashley's Law now goes to the Judiciary Oversight Committee, later this month. Later on in the show, we'll hear from the district attorney who prosecuted Busick's case and Laura Bible's mother, who hasn't given up fighting for justice and looking for her daughter. Some Kansas lawmakers hoping to raise the state's minimum wage. Democrats in both the House and Senate have introduced bills to raise the state's minimum wage from $7.25 an hour to $15 an hour. In a post to social media supporting the proposal, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly said, quote, "There's no reason workers in Kansas should make less than workers in our surrounding states." The city of Joplin is kicking off a road widening project on 20th Street. In preparation for the project, Liberty Utilities moved power poles this week. The area that will be widened runs from South Schifferdecker through Iron Gates Road. The road will be widened to 3 lanes, adding curbs and creating a shared use path for both bikes and pedestrians. 2 intersections will be changed to roundabouts, including the intersection on 20th and South Country Club Road. Now, that's in an effort to promote safety. The city recommends people use 32nd Street while 20th is closed.
Even though it's just a small 2-lane road out in the country, it does have a lot of traffic because it's serving a lot of area. And making it easier, safer to get into and out of Joplin.
Now, he says the city is in communication with businesses near the road work to inform them on what to expect. Construction will officially start at the end of March. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Pitt State women's basketball tries to remain undefeated at home. We'll have the details. Plus, Mexico deploys its first wave of National Guard troops to the border. And we have another chilly and cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Last night, 2 of the top girls high school basketball teams in our area squaring off. Fort Scott, the 8th-ranked team in Class 4A, going on the road to Labette County, who's ranked 5th in Class 4A. Fort Scott traveling to Labette County for a big-time 4A matchup. First points of the game belong to Allie Brown. She drains the 3 to give the Lady Tigers a 3-0 lead. But Labette County stayed aggressive early on. Aubrey Boss puts one off the glass for 2 points. And then the Grizzlies go inside the paint to Jaden Davis. She turns around and knocks down the hook shot. So we head to the second half, and Fort Scott starts to separate. The freshman Lorelei Clark drains the corner three, then off a missed layup, J.C. Rogers is going to get the rebound and put back, count the bucket plus the foul. In the final minutes of the game, Claire McElroy gets the steal and goes the other way as she finishes the layup. Fort Scott wins a big one on the road. Lady Tigers beat Labette County 53-44. Pittsburgh State men's and women's basketball were at home last night. Amanda David's squad comes into last night's game with a 10-game winning streak. Sixth-ranked Pitt State undefeated on its home floor and riding a 10-game win streak, taking on Emporia State, coming into last night at 4-8 in conference play. But the Hornets will make things difficult for PSU. Starting late third quarter, Gorillas lead by 2, but Janiyah Alvarez hits a layup to tie it after PSU jumps back in front. Next possession, Jayla Cornelius scores, ties it back up at 52 apiece. Final seconds of the third quarter, Grace Pyle is open. Her three-pointer is good at the buzzer, and she's fired up, heading to the bench. Fourth quarter is where PSU starts to pull away. Macy Mays goes to her left hand, finishes the layup plus the foul. The El Dorado Springs product led all scorers with 20 points. Then with just over 4 minutes left, Macy James is nothing but net from beyond the arc to put the finishing touches on an 11th consecutive victory. The Gorillas outscore Emporia 27-9 in the fourth quarter, winning it 82-61.
We just kind of talked in the locker room. I mean, we started to be more positive with one another. That's our thing, like constantly picking people up. And, we got some things going. It's easy to pick people up, especially in the fourth when we needed it. So just kind of got some things to fall. Everybody started flowing together.
Now to the men's game, 11-9 Pitt State hosting 7-14 Emporia State. This one starts horribly for the Gorillas. Just under 3 minutes in, Emporia up 6-0, and Chris Harris drains a three ball from the corner. Jeff Boschee has to take a timeout. Things don't get much better immediately after. A few minutes later, Gorillas down by 12. Jordan Friesen attacks the rim. His shot is blocked. Coming down the other way, nobody picks up Armin Lewis, so he stops and pops a three. That's good. The lead grows to 15. Plenty of game left, though. Tank Prichter has it down low. First shot no good, but he gets his own rebound, gets fouled, and scores. Deficit is trimmed to 10. A couple minutes later, Avery Taggart, the nice move on the baseline to finish the reverse layup. Strong second half propels Pittsburgh State to a victory. Gorillas win it 85-79. Over in Joplin, Missouri Southern women's basketball dominates Newman last night, 77-40, the final score. The Lions improved to 15-9 on the season. Missouri Southern men win as well, 85-69 over Newman. MSSU junior Jaden Taylor leads the way offensively with 26 points. Super Bowl 59 features a rematch not only between the Chiefs and Eagles, but between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. And here's a reason to feel confident in KC in Super Bowl rematches where each team has the same starting quarterback. Results have always gone one way. Those who won the first time also did the second. Terry Bradshaw's Steelers beat Roger Staubach and the Cowboys twice in the late 70s. Then Troy Aikman and the Cowboys beat the Bills twice in the 90s. And most recently, Eli Manning and the Giants defeated the Tom Brady-led Patriots 2 times. Well, still to come, a new study reveals brain samples that contain plastic nanoparticles. Plus, let's check out that forecast. And I know we've been talking about the snow. We'll talk a little more about it when we come back. Welcome back to the KOM Morning News. 5:18 now on this Friday morning. We're going to start with the future track for today, and then we'll go to the future track for next week, and then we'll talk about all that unpleasant stuff, unless, again, you really love the snow. I know Doug loves the snow. I don't have a problem with the snow. I just don't like when it cripples the area. Yeah, and it doesn't take much more than maybe 6 inches to shut down the 4 states because we're just not designed for that kind of snow. People up north, they're laughing at us. They go, only 6 inches of snow. I mean, we go to school in 2 feet of snow. Well, you've got the resources. We don't. All right, we don't. That our tolerance level is low. For today, though, cloudy skies, gusty east winds, scattered showers, scattered drizzle. It'll be doing this all day, all night, and most of Saturday. Now, one thing to note is temperatures, and I want to touch on that for just a moment. Most of us, we're going to see those temperatures begin to rise overnight. So here's what we're looking at, though. That cold front's going to start pushing in pretty early Saturday. So some of our northern counties, at this point, I'm going to say take the 126 corridor, maybe even the 160 corridor of the east-west, and just drag it straight across. I'm going to say points north of this line may only reach the 40s for highs. But down south of it, you'll have an opportunity to warm up briefly with a southerly wind before that front goes ahead and charges through by noon, and temperatures will begin to drop. So again, up north, I think highs tomorrow are probably only going to be in the 40s. Down south, you'll have highs in the 50s, but it will be short-lived before temperatures begin to gradually fall. And that's the other nice thing, is they're not going to plummet. Even up north, where it's going to be colder longer, these temperatures will not plummet behind the front, which is some good news. We'll have rain showers in the first half of our Saturday. By about 1, 2 o'clock, they are done, and eventually skies will try and clear by late Saturday. Now let's talk next week, okay? Here's Tuesday at 5 a.m. You can see on this future track, we've got very cold temperatures. Joplin at 32, 27 Kansas City, 29 Wichita. And the reason these are important is you can see it shows rain around Joplin, but if those temperatures are that cold or lower, it's obviously not necessarily going to be rain, at least not at the surface. And that becomes the other issue. If our surface temperatures are below freezing, but the future track's picking up rain in the atmosphere, now we're talking freezing rain, which is its own problem. But then we've got the snow out there. So we go through Tuesday, we get at least some snow. And it still looks like the Monday into Tuesday situation isn't going to be the main event, believe it or not. It's still looking like the second round of snow. It's going to come Wednesday into Thursday. That's going to be our better opportunity for more accumulating snow. Now, again, at this time, it still appears as though the heavier amounts should remain off to our north and west. We're going to get snow. It's the question of how much. So we're going to show you those same two computer models, and we're going to see what has changed already since yesterday. So again, still going through Thursday evening. If you recall, some of our northern counties, even as far south as Lamar and Pittsburgh, we're anywhere from 7 to 10 inches. Well, now that's changed a bit. Now we're in a 5 to 7 inch zone, and it's been narrowed, okay? But it's also increased totals down south. Now we'll take a look at the other computer model and see what it thinks in that same time frame with that same information. You can see it's increased its totals, believe it or not. Down south it had just a dusting, but they still aren't that significant. They're anywhere from 1 to 4 inches. So a lot of variables in play. A lot of things are still going to change. I'll tell you this, honestly, it really does look as though we are going to get some kind of snow next week, some kind of winter weather here. It's just the question at this point is the track of the system and exactly how much we get. So let's just keep an eye on it and let's be prepared. Let's make those plans this weekend while we have a chance to be prepared. All right, today again, mid-40s out there, mid-50s for some, 40s for others tomorrow. Colder on Sunday, temperatures below normal significantly as we head to next week. Winter weather possible, a little break Friday, and more wintry mix possible by next Saturday. Let's check your forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning. A new study found human brain samples contain an entire plastic spoon's worth of nanoplastics. The researchers studied human brain samples collected at autopsies last year and in 2016. And they found the 2024 brains contained about 50% more microplastics than the ones from 8 years before. In 2023, a group of scientists, healthcare workers, and policy analysts determined plastics are associated with harms to human health at every single stage of the plastic life cycle. But an expert not involved in the study said finding plastic deposits does not prove they cause damage. She said it's unclear if the particles enter and leave the brain or collect there and cause disease. Experts recommend taking steps to reduce your exposure to plastics. Demand for popular GLP-1 drugs has skyrocketed, but while many can see health benefits like weight loss and blood sugar control, some experts say shedding pounds can also impact relationships. Mandy Gaither talks to a psychologist about how the medicine can strengthen or weaken a person's connection to their partner.
It's a huge life change. Losing large amounts of weight can make us healthier, even happier, but some believe it can also lead to other changes.
In general, anytime somebody undergoes a significant change in their life, it will impact their relationship.
Psychologist Leslie Heinberg with Cleveland Clinic says that impact can be positive or negative. Since GLP-1 drugs are new, it's unclear how weight loss due to the medicine may affect relationships, but there are studies into the toll weight loss surgery can take.
Although most relationships remain intact, there is a significant increased likelihood to get married in the 5 years after weight loss surgery, as well as an increased likelihood to become separated or divorced after bariatric procedures.
Heinberg says negative impacts can happen when a partner isn't 100% on board with diet changes or shifts in physical activity. There may also be a change in sexual desire, which can put a strain on a relationship. To avoid problems with a partner, she says to find new, healthy ways to connect, keep the lines of communication open, and let them know how to support you.
Most relationships weather the storm and find new ways to come together.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, Heinberg says it's not only romantic relationships that can change when a person loses a significant amount of weight. Connections to friends and family members can also fray. Now to look at some of today's top health stories, you're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves another chilly start. It is breezy and it will be a little drizzly later today. Details when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, a local pageant title holder is using her platform to help children in Northeast Oklahoma.
And we've got another chilly, cloudy start to the day. Clouds increasing. Drizzle will eventually be increasing as well. Details in that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, an exchange student studying broadcasting in Joplin hopes to take her skills back to her home country.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 5:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's finally Friday.
Yes, it is.
February the 7th.
I can't believe we're already in the second week of February. It's just...
I mean, yeah, technically, I guess. It's the
first
full week
first
of February.
full week.
But technically... Now, when was February? I don't even know. 7 days ago is when February the 1st was. So that would have been Friday?
Yeah.
I can't
about
do
that?
math. No, math is not my skill set.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
What is it Don Henley says about our business? I could have been an actor, but I wound up here.
Oh, boy.
That's...
boy.
You settle with what you can do.
Yeah.
Now, we're having a great time. Hopefully, we help you have a great time every morning. Really, because we do have a lot of fun. We want you to have fun. I mean, it's 5:30 in the morning. You got to be cheery, all right, or your day's going to be bad. And the weather isn't so cheery, so I can tell it to you in a cheery way.
Oh, do
I'll
so,
give that
please.
a shot. Okay,
Yeah.
Let's take a look outside.
Oh.
In downtown Pittsburgh. What a lovely shot. All those street lights lined up. They look so pretty. There's the roads. They're clean, and the lines are well painted, and even some clouds just get a little light off of them. Hopefully that's cheery. Or creepy. I'm not really sure which yet. Take a look. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline. Look at all these little fellas going. Here they go. What's his name? Gary Oldman in The Fifth Element. All those little robots when he broke that glass. That's how I'm feeling right now at these things. Look at all these little things. And a wonderful ballet ensues. You're welcome. All right, here we go. On to the future track. Again, we're going to have the clouds are already increasing. We're going to have showers. We're going to have some drizzle out there, and that will continue through today, tonight, and into tomorrow. So even though you may not be under rain here, this is just the future track showing where rain will be, but there could be drizzle outside of that. Got a chilly start for some of us, just like yesterday. Mid-30s. Upper 30s, low 40s, and then mid to upper 40s. And so a little warmer from northwest to southeast. So kids getting on the bus, they're going to want another jacket. A few showers, some drizzle out there. Upper 30s, east winds gusting to 25. Those east winds continue to gust this afternoon. Cloudy, more drizzle, more showers, about 44 when that bus brings them home. Highs today right there, about the mid 40s. We'll have the showers, we'll have the drizzle. And then here's the other thing, like we saw a couple of days ago, our lows tonight very similar to our highs as temperatures are expected to rise overnight towards sunrise tomorrow, at least for some of us. We'll go over those details and we'll talk about those snow chances next week here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, see you soon, Chris. A woman from Miami, Oklahoma is making waves in pageantry and at New York Fashion Week this week, but her true focus is right here in the 4 states, advocating for children's safety. Anna Maria Thomas works at the Children's Advocacy Center in Ottawa County, helping neglected and abused children. She's combining her experience in advocacy with her pageant titles and bringing awareness of child abuse to her community.
Because I'm in pageants, I'm in a very specific position to also be a child advocate. Because if I show up somewhere, a classroom or a daycare, even a community event, and I'm wearing like a sparkly sash and a sparkly tiara, they're gonna wanna come talk to me. And they're gonna wanna listen to what I have to say.
Anna Maria plans to bring the SAFE project to daycares and classrooms across Ottawa County. For more information, visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, starting high school can be scary, but the McDonald County School District is trying to help make the transition seamless. Yesterday, nearly 250 8th grade students from across the district toured McDonald County High School. The experience is designed to help incoming freshmen learn more about the academic, extracurricular, and social opportunities available to them.
And they get an opportunity to see the classes that we offer. One of my favorite parts about 8th grade tours is they actually get to talk with our athletic director, have a little Q&A question and answer session with him to find out about our athletic program. They get to spend the whole day here.
Students were also able to visit classrooms and meet with teachers and other staff, so the high school will seem a bit more familiar. Like any industry, the world of journalism and news is constantly changing, and there's a constant need for young journalists. The JET HD program at Joplin High School works to bring up that next generation of young journalists. One student in particular is trying to use what she learns in school and apply it back home, 7,000 miles away. Shay Ismailova is an exchange student from the Central Asian nation of Tajikistan. Now, she has already been given the chance to anchor newscasts for the JET HD program. Her teacher, Brad Douglas, says he's impressed with her work that he's already seen from her in a short amount of time.
If you are really curious for something, you do it because your inside nature, inner nature, that pushes you to do this work. For example, learning English. For me, why did I learn English? Why did I start learning English? Because I love it.
Shay will return home at the end of the school year. Her teacher says he'll teach her as much as he can about the world of broadcasting before she leaves. It's been a fun Chiefs season for shoppers at Wayside Furniture in Joplin. The owner has been giving refunds based on Chiefs wins and by how many points. In December, more than 140 customers got refunds for Christmas after the Chiefs beat the Steelers by more than 12 points. Ahead of the Super Bowl, he made the same deal, but the Chiefs have to win by 14 or more.
I think it's great for the community. I really do, and I know I was telling someone, I know we stimulated the economy from Christmas to New Year's because that's when it hit, and I know a lot of people went out to eat. Yeah.
The offer runs through Saturday. Well, the Mocan Square Dance Club in Nevada, Missouri celebrates a milestone today. The 51-member line dance group will turn 43. And what started out as a singles-only club has evolved into a family-friendly fun event for all ages. It has also turned into a way to benefit the community.
Once a year, Fifth Friday benefit, where we raise money to help people in the community that need help, organizations.
Years ago, we used to have people that had a brand new baby, and they would come, and one of us older ladies would go ahead and take the child while their mom and dad danced.
The Mocan Square Dance Club meets the first and third Friday of each month at the Bourbon County Fairgrounds in Nevada. Admission is $7. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Panama's president denies making a deal allowing free passage for U.S. ships. Plus, Israel's prime minister meets with lawmakers about Trump's Gaza takeover plan. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, topping World Watch, Mexican soldiers begin their first patrol at the border with the U.S. Mexico deployed its first wave of National Guard troops on Wednesday at the border of Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, and El Paso, Texas. Now, the soldiers are the first of 10,000 troops being sent by Mexico after President Donald Trump threatened to hit the country with high tariffs if it did not help at the border. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum says the soldiers will help crack down on fentanyl smuggling into America, and the U.S. says it will ramp up efforts to stop gun trafficking into Mexico in return. The Panamanian president denying a deal has been reached with the U.S. regarding travel along the Panama Canal. President Jose Raul Molino says no deal has been reached after the State Department's claimed Panama will allow American warships to travel the canal for free. Molino says he told Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth on Wednesday that he couldn't set the fees to transit the canal or exempt anyone from them. The differing viewpoints come days after Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Molino and canal administrators and visited the critical trade route. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is meeting with lawmakers as Washington and the world are still processing President Trump's surprise Gaza takeover idea. Mike Emanuel has more from Washington.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meeting with senior congressional leadership on Capitol Hill Thursday, just days after President Trump announced his plan for the U.S. to take over the Gaza Strip, potentially displace Palestinians, and lead redevelopment efforts there.
The president is trying to strike a deal to ensure that Gaza can actually be a habitable place for human beings who want to live in peace with real economic development.
But Secretary of State Marco Rubio says there's a lot of work to be done to make the Gaza Strip safe to live in again.
There are all kinds of weapons, including Hamas weapons in the location. That all has to be cleaned up. I think President Trump has offered to go in and be a part of that solution.
Mr. Netanyahu, do you think measures are needed in Gaza?
Are we in?
To make President peaceable?
No. Democrats say while extending the ceasefire is possible, they maintain even Israeli officials think the president's idea is a non-starter.
I think there is common ground, but it is without this Trump crazy, insane proposal.
Netanyahu has made it clear during his multi-day Washington visit he wants to achieve his war goals, including completely eliminating Hamas's military and securing the release of all remaining hostages.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:46 now on this Friday morning. We got some stuff to cover, so we're going to start covering it. First today, clouds already increasing. As we go through the morning, we're going to start seeing an increase in drizzle and showers. And we'll have drizzle, we'll have showers, and it will continue through today, into tonight, into tomorrow, and then eventually come to an end by early tomorrow afternoon. However, tonight, going to be similar to what we saw about 2 or 3 nights ago, where temperatures are actually expected to rise, at least for some of us, as we go overnight tonight. So here's what's the story. We've got a cold front coming in on Saturday. It may be into some of our northern counties pretty early tomorrow morning. So with that said, some of our northern counties, you may not really do much warming, but if you stay ahead of that front, see where that wind shift line is even at 5 a.m., that's going to allow a south breeze to pull up and start making temperatures warmer right along the I-44 corridor just about. I think anybody north of that point isn't going to be nearly as warm as the folks to the south. Now, eventually by noon, that cold front will push the rest of the way through and temperatures, even where we got warmer, will begin to fall. Now, some good news is temperatures will not plummet behind this front. And in areas where the temperatures are already chilly, they're not going to plummet there either. In fact, they really won't move much. You'll kind of just stay steady. And once that front pushes through, the rain showers are gone. That should wrap up by about 1 o'clock, 2 at the latest tomorrow afternoon. I will eventually get some clearing in here. So we'll have south winds ahead of that front gusting, and then up to about 25. And then behind that front, it'll be north winds, and they'll still be gusty, upwards of 25. Now, that cold front is going to be the catalyst of colder air. It's going to be settling in as we head into next week. Everybody's talking about next week. These showers are no big deal. We've had them for a while now, and they're kind of just dreary. But next week is what we're watching. So this is one thing we want to keep an eye on. Here's Tuesday at 5 a.m. 32 is what it's saying in Joplin. It's also saying rain. Future Track is looking into the upper levels of the atmosphere to determine the precipitation type here, okay? So here's where we run into problem number one, is at least the possibility of some light freezing rain and maybe some light ice accumulations out there, sleet accumulations, because we may have rain in the upper levels of the atmosphere and then freezing temperatures at the surface, hence freezing rain. It falls as rain, freezes on the surface. But we'll also have some snow mixed in. Now, the Monday into Tuesday system doesn't look to be that big of a deal. We're not talking much accumulation of much of anything at this point. Now, of course, things can change. But right now, and over the last few days, that's kind of been somewhat consistent. We're going to see stuff on Monday into Tuesday, but it shouldn't add up to much. What we're really keeping an eye on is going to be Wednesday into Thursday, where our temperatures are going to be considerably colder across the entire region. So we're looking more at wintry precipitation, more at snow as we go through Wednesday afternoon and into early Thursday. Now, with that said, we're looking at the totals, and there's still variances on those totals. We'll show you both of the computer models that look that far out. Here's one, same time frame we talked about yesterday, from Monday through Thursday evening. Originally, our northern counties, even as far south as Lamar, Pittsburgh, Parsons, it had in a 7 to 10 inch zone. Now you can see those numbers have come down a bit, but you also see it's increased some of the numbers in the southern parts of our area. So this model is saying across the region, anywhere from, let's say, 4 to 8 inches of snow by Thursday. Now, this is a combination of the two systems. The other one has also increased just slightly, but is going considerably less, but it still shows the same thing, and this is an expectation. This one's showing anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of snow, but both of them agree that we're going to see snow across the region. That seems to be the consistent message here, is we are looking at snow across the entire area. There's just still some questions as to how much we're going to get. So again, not bad tomorrow, not too bad today, honestly, just drizzly. Colder by Sunday, and then we've really got to watch this system as we head into next week, and then we'll have the potential for another wintry mix by next weekend. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
A gargantuan galaxy that researchers say has set a new bar for visible rings has a new nickname with a nice ring to it. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Today we have our sights set on the latest cool, captivating cosmic discovery and bullseye. That is the nickname stargazing Yale University researchers have given a gargantuan galaxy newly captured on camera by the Hubble telescope, one that they are calling a record breaker. NASA says the so-called bullseye galaxy, also known as Leda 1313424, is 2.5 times the diameter of our own Milky Way galaxy. But what makes it so unique is its 9 distinct star-filled rings, newly confirmed visually and by using data. NASA says all previous observations of all other galaxies show a maximum of just 2 or 3 rings, which puts this 9-ringed bullseye galaxy in triple score territory. Speaking of rings, that's what an out-of-control boat was caught on camera doing in Florida when its driver was observed unresponsive at the helm by aerial responders. Volusia County officials caught up with the spinning craft and leapt on board, securing the boat and helping the driver, whom they say is expected to make a full recovery. Still speaking of rings, check out the now viral moment a Rhode Island couple realizes right in the middle of their wedding ceremony that their rings are nowhere to be found.
Where are the rings?
The couple kept cool and observed the golden rule. When in doubt, keep calm and tell mom, which is what the groom did, setting both mothers on a mission that resulted in the rings eventually being found and the ceremony completed. Later on, the best man, typically the ward of the rings, made a precious post-wedding punchline from the panicky predicament.
I mean, if you got me a better gift, maybe I'd remember to bring the rings up to the altar.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Stick around, we'll be right back. 2 elephants in a zoo in Hawaii think they know who will win the big game. Murray and Vigai live at the Honolulu Zoo, and they were given 2 watermelons, one with the Chiefs logo and the other with the Eagles logo. And after a bit of a psych out, the pair ended up choosing the Eagles as the winning team. And in case you were wondering, they seem to be accurate in their predictions, as Murray and Vigai correctly predicted the Chiefs to win last year. A Seattle-based coffee chain offers free coffee following Super Bowl 59. Starbucks will offer rewards members free coffee on Monday. The reward can be applied prior to placing an order and works for 1 free tall, hot, or iced coffee. Customers who are not already rewards members can get the deal if they sign up before 11:59 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday.
This is what I was talking about yesterday. Because Starbucks is calling it the Mondayest Monday.
Yes.
The Mondayest Monday.
Hopefully it'll be a good Monday.
Hopefully it will, but either way, you're probably going to need that coffee. So just make sure that, if you get an opportunity, check it out. And if not, we've got plenty of also local coffee shops around here too. Plenty of places to get your day started, no matter how the Super Bowl goes. Today though, cold, chilly, showery, drizzly, scatter showers, drizzle. We'll have those cloudy skies. Temperatures hovering in the upper 30s, low 40s through the morning. We'll make it eventually about the mid 40s out there. Be some drizzle, some showers, east winds gusting to 25. Overnight tonight, temperatures will actually begin to rise. So we're going to hit about 43, I think. So about a degree or two cooler than our high temperatures. And then temperatures will rise overnight tonight into our Saturday. So at least for some of us, we may make the 50s. Our northern counties may make the 40s. More showers, more drizzle. Cold front pushes in. Colder, and of course, we're watching those snow chances next week. We'll be back with more after this.